Welcome one, welcome all. Pile in now, take a seat. It's time to pay attention for the odds and ends extravaganza, the biggest odds and ends extravaganza I think we've ever done here on the channel. What a way to head into the weekend, right? Especially for those of you in the US who are heading into, I believe, the Independence Day weekend, and to those of you in Canada, happy belated Canada Day. We're just a little bit removed from that. I hope that it was fantastic for you in Canada. I hope it will be fantastic for you guys in the US. And this extravaganza is going to cover some customs done to some characters and some figures. We have bags of some interesting things. Some of it useful, some of it just really odd. You'll see what I mean in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery Man, the Everything Factor, all the groups, and that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all my social media links, all in the description down below. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring. Or, of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube to become a channel member. And this is going to be not just an odds and ends. Like, we've done ties in the past, and mugs and stickers, and we've done socks, and we've done cake toppers, and we've done comic books and all that. Everything here today is going to be related to actual collections, to actual figures, to actual plastic offerings, to things that could be, you know, on your shelf potentially. Maybe you are somebody who you're always kind of hunting for parts, and you never know what you're gonna see, but there is a ton of it. So without any further ado, let's head over to the table and get this party started. Now, you guys know as well as I do that periodically I do a little odds and ends here on the channel, and this is going to be the biggest, most involved odds and ends that we've done yet, and probably the most interesting because everything here relates to a character, a figure in some form or fashion. A lot of times here we'll have, like, you know, comics and shirts and mugs and, like, you know, kind of the more quirky things, but everything here is related to something that could be part of someone's collection. Let me put it to you that way. And most of this came from our buddy Jason. You may know him better as Non-Metal on the 2005 boards. Some of what he pulls off really sort of baffles me. He sent me some great things in the past. He's a real gent. Like, I now have a bombshell that has wrist rotation. A Titans Return? I think that's what bombshell was. That has wrist rotation. Or my Hotlink was thanks to him, and there's like a set that goes with Hotlink to give him his flamethrower. Like, come on. There's a couple of clever things done here. Plus, a while ago I talked about turning the Classics Inferno into Hosehead, or Cab if you will. We're going to take a closer look at what I did there as well. So there's a whole bunch of stuff here. First things first, there was a little letter that came in with it. I'm going to read the letter. It says, delivery from Junkion. It says, hi Dennis, some bits I thought you may find useful, as well as some custom add-on bits. The extra engine bits for Double Dealer's minions came from a Double Dealer knockoff set. The Target Master barrel can extend or collapse. Hotlink had hose. My set didn't have the hose, so a Hotlink hose and flame effects, which is nice because it's flamethrower. Should have flame effects. Springer also looks great with the included blades. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Hope you find some of it useful, and if not, hot glue it to a piece of plywood and you have Junkion. There's an idea here as well that some of these bits and pieces would be possibly useful within the confines of stop motion, certainly for the Planet of Junk, or even like robot pieces out in the battlefield and whatnot, you know? Let's see. You'll notice a couple of things with double cross when we get to double cross, or is it double crosser? I'm so used to calling it Twinferno now. And then finally it says, thank you so much for keeping us in good spirits over this hard year, as well as encouraging smart purchasing practices. I always say, man, I do my best to protect my wallet and yours. All the best, Jason. So, a huge thank you to Jason for sending all of this stuff along. Of course, we need to do one thing at a time. So, let's kind of center in and we'll get through all this, I promise. Let's deal with the elephant in the room first, which is not one but two versions of Hegemon. Now, I looked at this version. It is the second release. It is the second version that didn't come with all the bells and whistles that the first version came with. I looked at that when I done like this evolution of Megatron series, like a long, and I mean long time ago. This second version was called TW01B, as where this version was just called TW01. And I looked at it, get this, back in episode 133. To be fair, it still stands as my Megatron, and it does have a little bit of custom work done with the Decepticon logo on his chest, his like painted eyebrow, and I painted in his mouth, a little bit of red on the sides, you know, like it is what it is. It had a couple of extra bells and whistles, I'm going to say, than the original release in terms of coloration. For example, the original has black shins compared to the gray on the B version. The original just has gray feet compared to the red insets on the B version. The original doesn't have the little red detailing on the chest. The B version does. They both have the same fusion cannon. This one has had the red targeting pieces taken out of it. As well, I was never able to get the orange safety cap off of my B version, so it ended up getting cut off and painted over. However, this one does have the orange cap out of it. Mine must have been really glued in or something. Equally, I want to point out, when you turn them around, the back of the legs, if I can do this, the back of the legs of the A version are just solid black plastic. The back of the legs of the B version are translucent red plastic. And you may notice that I've given the B version the sword. That's only because the B version is my original one. So I was like, hey, I like that Energon sword. I'm going to give it to him. This one over here also has a very, very kind of important, actually two important custom pieces that non-metal did that I'm actually going to, well, one of them I'll focus on just a little bit. But the first is the hands. The hands are custom, I think. These hands are able to not just rotate, but the fingers can open and close, and the first finger is like hinged separate from the other three. I don't think the thumb does anything. And of course it rotates. It can still certainly transform. Neat. He's always doing clever stuff like, let's put on more articulated hands, and he finds a way to pull it off. Like, so cool. Also, and I don't know if you can see it here, like I said, I'll show it more closely in a moment. The abdomen section is custom compared to the stock abdomen section. Now, I colored in the things on the abdomen kind of as closely as I could, the way that it should be colored. However, the layout should be yellow line down bottom, red dot over to the side, and then the blue squares. Somehow, someway, he got an abdomen, and it is inset here. Again, can still transform. I was nervous about, because one arm kind of swings past, and I was nervous about being able to swing past for going to pistol mode, but no, works just fine. So I'm going to show the abs of the version 2 first, which is the stock, and then I'll just let you see what he has done custom up a little bit closer. So you can see here where I colored in like the little line yellow, the little square blue or red, and the little dot blue. Like, I did the best I could with the stock abs the way they are. But look what non-metal has accomplished. Now, I don't know if this was an add-on kit or if it's something he done himself or what. But we have the square that's red, we have the two blue dots, and we have the line that is yellow. That is like painstakingly G1 accurate. Plus he colored in the red on the elbows and on the sides of the abs. I did color in the sides of the abs. I didn't do the elbows because it was translucent red and I just left it. But so impressively well done. And just as a side note, well, I do have the mace. Now I also have that Energon sword and the kind of stock piece that goes on the bottom of the handle. So about as ideal of a Megatron as you could possibly want. Both of them great, really, really great. Speaking of add-ons, he sent me a bunch of toy hacks as well. I have so many of these to get through. So many. These are for the Rainmakers apparently, as are these. So I have a bunch for the Rainmakers. He sent like a few of these Kingdom cards too, like the Optimus and the Dead Prime and the Arc Crash and the Dinobot one. I don't know. I'm not a card guy, so whatever. I'm not sure who all these are for right now. I don't remember who this set is for offhand. I think that this is for the Spy Patrol, which like was Rumble and who else was in there? Rat-Bat, no, not Rat-Bat, Wing Thing, and the two that go with Double Dealer, so I think that's what that set is for. This is for Earthrise Starscream, if you want him to look more kind of G1 toy accurate, and maybe this is the set that goes with the, maybe that's the set that goes with the Spy Patrol, could be. That other set, oh yeah, that other set went with Pterodactyl and Shroot, and Fracas, so I don't know if I'll use them. I don't really have that set per se. I've done some custom work, but we'll see. Maybe I will. And then finally, this, which is also for the Rainmakers. For some reason, he threw in an extra barrel piece, and I have 2 Hegemons and 3 barrel pieces for some peculiar reason. Next up is a gigantic bag of parts. I'm not going through everything in here, but I'll kind of give you the overview here. I don't know, if you see something that catches your attention and that you know what it is and can identify it, hey, cool, let me know, man. But, like, there was a lot of parts and bits and pieces in one of the bags. This is the biggest bag. This is the most haphazard bag. The other ones are smaller and make much more sense, I promise. I feel like a lot of this could be used for A, completing certain characters if people are like missing parts, or if I was missing parts, but B, like you see like a little red leg there, you know, like I feel like a lot of this could be used for like, these are parts of bots, you know, like there's a Motor Master piece, for example. Like, I don't know, what are you gonna do with it, you know? A couple of like hand foot pieces, a couple of I don't even know what the small Megatron cannons are from, honestly. You know, part of a wheelie there that's sort of messed up. You know, some tank treads there. A lot of little tiny bits and pieces here too. You know, there's part of a whatever that Megatron is supposed to be. That's definitely part of, I think, Titans Return Galvatron's particle cannon. Those are definitely pile drivers used by Rumble Frenzy. And I feel like I remember them, but I don't know exactly what they're from. And a bunch of like blaster pieces and stuff up there. So that is kind of one big bag right there. And in the next bag we have that stock that I was talking about that goes with Hegemon. So we can throw that back in the bag. There was also like some 5mm pegs and posts that I might be able to use to help to make you know, rigs or flight stands or something like that. This is the hose that goes with the Hot Link set, and another piece here. This, I think this flame effect is maybe glued in there. There are other little blast effects down here, but it's easy enough to just use the mushroom peg, pop out the kind of empty, I don't know what you call it, barrel, I guess, from where his hand should be, and pop this one in if I want to do, say, a scene or stop motion or something with the flame coming out of it, so that's really cool. Then we have, and I looked at some of these a while ago, I think I had them on loan from Maximal 10 if I'm not mistaken. This is the Soundwave, and it's basically a little robot, and like the arms can go forward, not out to the side or anything. The legs can go forward. There are knees. They can go to the side because of the ball joints and whatnot. If you turn the legs around, you can fold them up like this, and like you get a sound wave head. Now this one seems to be missing his head. We're gonna just lay this guy aside though. We might find his head for robot mode a little bit later on. We also have the two Battle Masters that came with the Netflix Optimus Prime. I don't know what their names are. I guess we will find out eventually. But of course, one is the like pterodactyl, I guess mold. All done in like a goldy color. The other is Sound Barrier in all goldy color. Whatever scores I gave those guys, honestly it holds true here. They're both neat. This one turns to a little axe, which I guess is neat, sort of like his Energon axe. The other one, of course, turns into a shield. It's a floorboard, but it turns into a shield. Here's the thing. I didn't really need these guys because I was like, okay, they're neat, they're cool to have, but like I wasn't buying the Netflix Optimus for the sake of that. My Optimus has, you know, a trailer and roller and has the repair drone thing, and like he has a cast axe and he has the big blaster, and like he has his matrix and whatnot. These two, however, will definitely go with him, if for nothing else, because if there's any way to make Earthrise Optimus Prime even more quintessential, perfect, ideal Optimus Prime, why not give him a couple of extra minions? These guys can be kind of like Roller. You know, Roller, the trailer, and Optimus himself are all kind of part of the one consciousness, all part of the one thing. Why not have these guys be part of the one thing with Optimus as well? Sounds like a neat idea to me. So, again, we don't need to see the transformations for those. We've seen the axe, we've seen the floorboard. They're just neat. They have the exact same articulation. I do like the like ambery yellow translucent plastic though. Like it looks really pretty. Then we get to this, and I'm going to have to kind of go in on it a little bit. It is obviously tiny. This is a custom version of Nightstick. And I know it's Nightstick because he has a Decepticon badge. However, I really haven't a clue what he's exactly made of. I know the bottom is definitely a like Titan Master bottom. Like, you know, he can get in, I assume he can get in that, yeah, he can get in that seated position that like Titan Masters can get in. And the arms, like they can go forward and stuff. I mean, they're definitely like Titan Master arms. The body seems a little stylized. The shoulders seem a little stylized. There's definitely like a stylized barrel here on the back. You'll notice there's a peg here because you can fold the guy up and boom, you have your blaster mode. Probably once a headmaster, now a blaster. Now, because I have a Nightstick that goes with my Kingdom Cyclonus, I actually have an idea for this guy. I've been using a customized Battle Master as Nebulon to go with my Ricochet, but I've always felt like it's a little bit too large. So, this cool guy might just go with my Ricochet. I like that idea. Plus, it is small and convenient if I want to kind of take him out of the hand and, for example, just place him... Oh, will it fit there under? Yeah, like just place him back there, or like, you know, back right there or something. Like I can do it. I can even open the guy out if I am so inclined. And our next bag is good and creepy because it's all heads. Some of these I know, most of these I know, but not all of them. And some of them I'm not sure who it belongs to. Like I know the character, but I might not know, is it third party, is it official? I don't know. A bunch of heads, it's weird, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty weird. And you could see for yourself who they are. Like you got Optimus there, Blaster, Scourge, Trailbreaker, Bumblebee. That one's from the Masterpiece Bumblebee. You know, you got Knockout there, a bunch of Soundwave. I don't know what that Devastator is. It looks like we have Roadbuster. I don't know who that little purple lad is. A fully intact Quakehead. What looks to be the face of Groove. And that's definitely a Wheeljack of some sort. I'm going to guess Unicron Trilogy. And that is Beast Wars Transmetal's Megatron's head. And if you thought a bag of random robot heads was weird, what about a bunch of like hands and arms and fists? I'm not going to even pretend that I can identify any of these. I 100% cannot. If you can, cool. But I think there might be one there for G1 Devastator, but like that's about all I can discern and identify. If you composite or something picks up, your attention and you know what it is, by all means, man, feel free to fill me in. But this is a little surreal, right? Again, it could be used as like robot bits and pieces within stop motion for any innumerable reasons. A couple of things I've recognized, like I think that's Transmetal Megatron's arm, if I'm not mistaken. Right, like I think the purple fist there might belong to Devastator. So like there's a couple of things. I'm not much of a parts guy. Like there's classic Wheeljack's arm. I think there's a second one in there somewhere. That's also Groove's arm. So I don't know. Arms, anybody? The next bag is still weird, but it's a little more understandable and definitely smaller. We have whatever this piece is, and this was once, I'm assuming, like an Ultra Magnus of some sort, I guess. This is the little thing that came with, the Titan Master version of 8-Face. I mean, we have a full 8-Face now, so we don't really need it. Horrible or terrible. Came with this little tank thing. I mean, neat, I guess. I suppose if you want a little tank thing. But we know what those are like. A couple of minicons here. I'm not going to pretend I know who or what these are or how they even transform. I know nothing about minicons. I know that they're Unicron Trilogy. This was the little reflector camera that came with Thrilling 30s Shrapnel, or Scrapnel if you prefer. I have a version of this, but this one is better tolerance because mine never really stayed together. These two pieces, I believe, go with this fire truck. This fire truck is a KO of really Hotspot. But this one is broken, unfortunately. I don't know if it's broken transit or what, but like the head is, it's broken. So that's a little bit unfortunate, even though it is only a KO. I have the Lion Lad already, but neat, I guess. These, I don't know, I like this guy. It's Leon is who it is, really. And I like it. They didn't call him Leon, I think they call him Sawback, something like that. But I like that Battle Master or Titan Master. I thought he was a bit different. I think he's a Headmaster Junior, if I'm not mistaken. This is the kind of classic Ravage that comes with Hound. This one doesn't have a head. We have the version in the house with his head. So, speaking of Ravage, here's a neat little movie Ravage. I like this. I don't know if I'll use it as Ravage, but I do like it. And he does transform into like, I don't know, this weird little thing because he's got to transform. But I'm cool with him just being this mean cat, man. Fairly well articulated, legs forward, out to the side. The little claws can move. Kind of knees back here. The feet move out to the side. The tail moves around. His hip blaster things move around. I don't think there's anything at the head. But like still neat for what it is. And I think this is Movie Frenzy, I believe. I don't really know what this is, but I bet somebody else does. I don't know, can he get like that? Why you would do that, I don't know. And these two things are sort of kind of the same. Naturally, this is Titans Retrun Perceptor, and we know we have a new one coming up in the Studio Series line as of this recording, but I've always liked the Titans Retrun Perceptor. He can do the microscope mode, the robot mode, the tank mode. The only thing that I didn't like, and that most people didn't like about him, is that we do have him as a headmaster this time with convex. Well, enter our friend non-metal, and taking this guy out of it, this is no longer a headmaster. It has been de-headmasterized. The shoulders have been cut off, though I'm not sure why he did that, but whatever. So the articulation there now is more limited than it was. My guess is he had to do it in order to kind of get the head to work. And I can't seem to get these pieces out. I don't know if he's done something to them or if I just can't get them out. Obviously, this has been replaced. What this is one of the pile drivers. I showed 3 of them earlier, and he put a little knob up here and kind of made this into the shoulder piece. Now, here's the neat thing about this guy. He can still sort of, kind of transform. Not, ideally, but I'll show you it all the same. So you can still fold in the hands. By the way, there's a bunch of Toy Hacks labels put here as well. And you can bring this down, and you bring up the leg and bring it out and put that down. You bring up the leg, bring it out and put that down. And now you turn the head around. I'm gonna reposition this. There you go. You turn the head around, you extend this armature up, and it still works along the back there. And then taking it off of this peg here and putting it up on that peg up there, what you get is the ability to kind of come down over and look at whatever's here in your microscope thing. Again, I don't know why he did that with the arms. The arms can't really transform per se, but like, you still know that that's a microscope. I'm just curious now, since we have the actual armature here, if we take this off, are we able to put the actual armature on there with, maybe this way? Yeah, if you use the other one, you can put it on there and he transforms, you know, technically. Neat. I mean, the knob is now upside down, but like, even with the head there, he transforms. What about if we want, no, can we do it this way and get any satisfaction with it? Yeah, you can still do it that way and get some satisfaction with it, man. Neat. Pretty cool. Now, while I have a Perceptor, I got a funny feeling that this new lead might get some black touch-ups, some black paint, and I got a funny feeling we may have a custom Magnificus in the waiting. At least that's my plan for it. Why not? I got the extra. Why not? Because we didn't get this released as, I think it's Magnificus. I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. You know, the Black Decepticon lad version. And our last baggie actually has a bunch of blasters and blast effects in it. Some of the blasters have the handles cut off. I don't know why. Some of them I recognize, some of them I don't. Like, there's a couple of Titans Return ones there for sure. There is definitely a Siege Hound, what looks like Classics Universe ratchets. There's definitely a Combiner Wars like sword looking thing there. As we go up, I don't know what those purple ones are. They seem Astro Trainy to me. And you can see the blast effects there. We go across the top. I kind of don't know what those are along the top. And we come down here. There's definitely some null rays there. You know, you have Cyclonus's, Kingdom Cyclonus's blaster there. The little bazooka comes with Hot Soldiers. I don't know, it's either Hubcap or Cliff Jumper, one of it. What looks like Quake's blaster. The ones with the pink handles, do they go with RC? I don't know what that is. And there's one there that looks like it might go with Beast Wars Rampage. So a bunch of blasters, I guess. A lot of these are going to get inherited, I think, by like my Legends class characters that don't have anything. Are you a fan of Siege Springer, but not necessarily of his swords or his helicopter blades, if you will? Well, let's pretend for a moment that we didn't even get those. Oh no, they weren't in the packaging or some such nonsense. What could you do? Well, you could use the sword from the Thrilling 30s lad. Of course, this one, once it's in, it doesn't rotate or fall or anything like that. Yes, the gray is definitely a different gray. However, the green is really the same hue of green. Now, I have one of these, but it's with the Thrilling 30s Springer. Actually, I don't have it. One of the Scraplets owns it, and he has it. But I do like these blades better. We all know that this is the top of the vehicle mode or the top of the helicopter mode. So, guess what? If you want, you could put it back there as a sword. If you want, you could take it out and put it in his hand still as a sword. Or if you want, and I'm not doing the transformation because, you know, we all get the idea of where this is going, I'm sure. You can actually transform it and still put it in there as the helicopter blades. Infinitely, infinitely happier with this sword than the ones that came with them, even if the gray color is a little bit off. And next up we have, I thought it might be Double Crosser, but no, Double Crosser's the little Battlemaster Decepticon guy with the 2 heads. This is MonsterBot Double Cross, and first thing you'll notice is that he's taller because for some weird reason again, and I don't know why this is, our buddy Non-Metal decided to elongate the thighs. Cool, I guess. Why not make him taller? I suppose. There's a bunch of like Toy Hacks labels also put on this guy, which is really best seen on the wings, man. What a massive, massive difference on the wings. You may also notice in looking at this that something about the arms looks different, looks weird. That's because our boy now has wrist rotation like he always should have had. So the arms can be in their proper location, the heads can be in their proper location. Love it. The big thing here though is what goes with this little sword. There's a small sword here. Why? Well, let's take a look at Daburo versus Daburo. Or is it? That's right, they look quite different. Why? Because this version of Daburo has actually been customized into the Battle Beast White Leo. Like, come on! The detail that Non-Metal put on this is astonishing for a Battle Master. Really, really or Titan Master. Really, really astonishingly well done. And how often do we get love for Battle Beasts, man? It's a reference, he said, to the episode where Double Cross and White Leo actually did work together. And when it comes to the 2-headed dragon mode, our boy can pull it off with no problem whatsoever. And our trio of the Monster Boys still looks pretty darn excellent. And finally, last but not least, in this kind of odds and ends extravaganza, we have now my custom version of Hosehead, or Cab if you will. I looked at the Classics Universe Inferno back in episode 420, and I was blown away. The transformation, spectacular. It was a 9 or a 10. The articulation, a 9 or a 10. I did some paint work on the guy to make him a little more accurate to our boy Inferno, but you know what, it works fine here too. Now, to be fair, I'll say this, Masterfar has, I think, done the same custom. However, he turns the head around and it's made the back really function as the front to look a little more Hosehead cabish. Somehow he has transposed both arms and says it still transforms. It looks like to me that's a lot of surgery to take the arms apart and turn them around for the sake of making the back be the front. You can definitely do it, and doing the legs is easy, you just turn them around, no problem. So that is definitely viable, definitely a doable option, no doubt. I'm happy with the way it is here, but if you want a little more accuracy, you can definitely do a little more surgery like our buddy Masterfar. Here I had bits and pieces of a Titan Master that I put together. Those bits and pieces came from, you guessed it, our buddy Non-Metal. I did order from Shapeways an adapter that really goes into spring-loaded section that's up right here where the head should be. And I ordered a face that I had to custom paint as Hosehead or Cab. So right now you can leave this on for transformation, or of course, as you would expect, you can take it off and you can transform the lad right here. We'll look at him, you know, I guess closer in a couple of moments. As I just put his arms out here to the side for my benefit a little bit. And do that just for my benefit. But here you can see, I mean, it's a transtector. You can kind of see, right, I didn't paint in there. I did use a what's called shiny fire engine red, and it's a perfect match. Does the spring-loaded mechanism still work? Yes, it does. However, I misaligned it, so on mine it doesn't work as well as what it should work. But you do just still turn it around for transformation. I'm not doing the full transformation, but that's how you would do it for the transformation, and you would transform him the exact same way into a fire engine. As for the head itself, it's definitely a hodgepodge, and there should be more of a gray body, and I think the lower legs are probably supposed to be gray as well, and certainly some more detailing. But I did put in blue eyes and the little red dot on the forehead. That's close enough for me. I'm not that tied to the Headmaster Junior lad. Again, seated position. The arms move forward and whatnot as all of these do, and we can transform him thusly. See if I can get this to focus a little more. I hope it can. And as you can see, we have the black ears on the side. This is the head that has like the helmet version on it. Little bit of a pain to paint, but honestly, once you get done, it looks really fantastic and very quintessentially Hosehead. And whoo, what a wild ride this odds and ends unpackaging, unboxing showcase has been. The wildest one we've ever done of these. I want to give a huge thank you again to Non-Metal. I definitely couldn't have done this without him. Some really quirky, interesting bits and pieces in here. A lot I don't know, a lot that's not even useful necessarily to me per se. But wow, what an overall showcase. Things here that I absolutely adore, things here that I've always wanted to do, and some of the ideas that he has for some customizing options are second to none. There you go, and that's it. In terms of like the things that are useful, most of it is kind of up there. Like I can't really score it or grade it per se, but the things that are designed to be improvements, I would say to you, actually are improvements. And the other bits and pieces, they are a customizer's dream. And here we are once again, and man, oh man, I told you that there was a lot. So, the custom Perceptor that's no longer a headmaster, I think that's so cool. I really, really do. The fact it can transform is great. Obviously, I guess because he had to cut off, or he opted to cut off the tops of the shoulders, I guess that's why those black pieces are put up there. I assume they're glued on. But still, it can pull off the mode. I dig it. The two Hegemons. Hegemon's great. He's an excellent Megatron. I'm not sad having another one. The custom hands are really cool. I might even switch them out. I don't know. We'll see. What else was in there? All the blasters and blast effects. The blast effects are great, practical effects for stop motion. The blasters, I've got so many Legends class guys who don't have any blasters. Some of them can work for them. As for the really big ones, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I'll find somebody at some point that could use it. Then we have a bag of heads and a bag of arms. It's kind of creepy, but it is what it is. I don't know how much use I'll actually have for them other than possibly them being like bits and pieces of robots at some point, but it's still neat to have them anyway. And you never know, maybe just the right person will come along and say, hey, I need that head, or I need that face, or maybe I'll want to use it for a custom or something like that. Then there was that whole big bag of parts. I think a lot of them probably G1 parts would be my guess. Do I know that for sure? No. If you hear a fan, by the way, that's my old computer. Yes, I still don't have it taken apart yet. I gotta do that. But you may see parts there that, you know, somebody who is looking for G1 parts might be like, hey, I could use that. Here's the thing. All of the actual characters in there, the Battle Masters and the customs and whatnot, I'm gonna keep all that. The items in there that are useful to me, I'm going to keep all that. The rest of it, some of it I'll use for stop motion stuff, but honestly, there are going to be times when there's going to be things in there that I know people are going to say, hey, I could use those fists, or I could use that arm, or, oh wow, that is a piece of a such and such a so-and-so I could use, and I know I'll be able to help out where I can there. Anyway, I hope that we got your weekend started off right. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time, man. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring. Or, of course, hit the join button, baby, right here on YouTube to become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around. Have some fun with us. Don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.